what makes you stick to wildlife photography in particular, compared to like other outdoor photography genres?
Well, I like landscape. Uh, you guys are on Instagram. That's how we found each other. And
Mhm.
what happens is you kind of start down a path and people start following you because of what you post. And originally it was nothing but birds. So, I would post a picture of a landscape and I'd get crickets. Like nobody would even like the image. So at one point I started a whole nother landscape Instagram account. But, so you see what I post on Instagram. I do all the photography. I love landscape photography. I love, uh, well, I don't want to say I love all photography. I don't like photographing people at all. It kind of drives me nuts.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, like if I see beautiful architecture, beautiful landscapes, I love snapping those shots. But I understand that people follow me for the wildlife and bird photography, so I just give them what they want. You all know how that works.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for
That's
sure.
that's true. You kind of almost fit the mold in a way too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Were you kind of a birder before you started photography, or was it just kinda all come naturally once you started?
No, so in my dad and my grandfather were both Audubon Society. They had a bound of renown known to be bird guys. So, at a very early age, I was introduced to bird watching. I'd go on these bird tours down in Grand Isle, Louisiana, and five or six ladies, older ladies, would get paired up with me, and I'd take them on tours of the island. So, from like I said, from 20 years old, I had been bird watching, and which is fantastic for bird photography because you figure out where all the birds are your first 15 years, and then you just go photograph them when you can finally afford a camera. So it's been part of my life for my entire adult existence.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I kind of been the same way too. It's like I kind of got into the birds first, but it was just more of like a curiosity, and now it's like I'm just kind of like all in. Where I'm getting the frame filling shots or trying to at least and everything too.
Yeah, and so you carried around a set of binoculars before you got that camera, right? And did just try to annotate what you saw? Is that the way you did it?
No, actually, I started with like a 75 to 300, like a small telephoto zoom lens. I don't even think I had binoculars when I started out, but I was just trying to get like the closest documentation shot and just go from
Yeah.
there.
Well, wow. So you
Mhm.
started with a camera. So if you start with a set of binoculars and you go to a camera, it's easy to see a bird in the binoculars, but to get a picture is a whole nother story. And
Mhm.
you guys know that. I mean, it kicked my butt. I was like,
Yep.
why do all my pictures suck? I mean, they
Mhm.
were they were horrible when I first started. But yeah, after a lot of time and effort, you start figuring it out and try to get a little more artistic and
Mhm.
it's man, I get obsessed with it. I don't know about you guys, but I get absolutely obsessed.
Yep, I definitely agree. I do both like wildlife and landscapes, and I find that wildlife is just like a different level of obsession. Like it's just kind of like a constant chase. I don't know if you've had that experience, but always kind of looking
Yeah.
for the next subject.
Well, yeah, my part of my theme in life, and I cover this a lot on the YouTube channel, is enough is never enough,
Hmm.
right? I mean, one of my earlier videos was, here we go again. It's 6 in the morning, and I'm going to photograph a bird that I've photographed 1,000 times, and I don't know why. I can't explain to someone why I get up every year, sometimes 30 times in a month to go photograph the same exact bird. I mean, and it doesn't bore me. I just want a different pose. I want to get a little closer. I want different action. So, I'm lucky I've got a wife that tolerates my stupidity sometimes, but I am. I mean, it's addictive personality or something. I got to do it, and I am obsessed, and
Hmm.
wildlife does that to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's much worse addictions out there. I think it's a constructive addiction,
Yeah.
and it's a good thing to put your time into. Honestly,
Yeah, not I could probably have a cheaper addiction, is what she would argue.
true,
'Cause,
true, but
Yeah, fair enough
uh-huh.
there.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, but isn't that the
That's
case though? No matter what you wanna do, if you wanna just get into it, you can go buy like for photography, you can go buy a $500 used camera And what I started with is a 70 to 300 as well. And you're under $1,000, right? I mean, you're
Hmm.
not spending too much money, but if you want to get 20% better, that last 20% is 100 times more expensive.
Yep.
You start getting into those, Z9s and 600 millimeters, and then you want to start recording it, and you got all the recording gear and the microphones and external recorders and then the software. So it's just a rabbit hole that,
Hmm.
um, if it wasn't fun, I wouldn't do it. But I have to admit that there are opportunity costs that I have to take into consideration on from time to time.